Ladies and gentlemen, passion creates excellence. This simple statement carries more truth than we often realize. Think about the times in your own life when you were deeply interested in something. Maybe it was a hobby, a subject in school, or a small project you started just for fun. Hours passed without you noticing because you were immersed in the process. That is what passion does. It transforms effort into joy, it transforms practice into purpose, and it transforms ordinary results into extraordinary achievements. When you love your work, the energy you bring to it is different. It is no longer about dragging yourself out of bed or counting the hours until the day ends. Instead, it becomes about what new possibilities each day might bring. This excitement is what fuels creativity. It opens the door to fresh ideas, new perspectives, and unique approaches that others might overlook. Passion sharpens the mind, heightens curiosity, and inspires innovation. Without passion, work often feels mechanical, but with passion, it becomes art. Excellence is not achieved overnight. It is the outcome of countless hours of dedication, focus, and practice. Many people's work is not always easy. No matter how much talent, skill, or preparation you bring to the table, challenges will always find their way into your path. But there is something powerful that can transform these challenges into stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks, and that is the love you have for your work. When you truly care about what you do, obstacles lose their power to discourage you. Instead, they become opportunities to learn, to grow, and to rise higher than you were before. Think about the difference between doing something out of obligation and doing something out of passion. When you are forced into a task you do not enjoy, every small difficulty feels like a mountain. A minor mistake feels like failure, and setbacks drain your energy. But when you are engaged in work you love, those same difficulties take on a different meaning. You no longer see them as punishments, but as challenges worth facing. You welcome them because you know each one carries a hidden lesson. That shift in perspective is what allows people to persevere when others quit. Loving your work gives you a deep reservoir of patience. Success is rarely immediate, and the journey often includes rejection, delay, and frustration. But when you are passionate, those moments do not break you, they shape you. Consider the inventor who fails dozens of times before creating something that changes the world. If he did not love the process, he would have abandoned it after the first setback. Love gives him the courage to fail forward, to see each failure not as an end, but as a clue pointing him towards success. Challenges are also the fire that tests your commitment. They force you to dig deeper, to strengthen your skills, and to push beyond your comfort zone. A musician perfecting a difficult piece, an entrepreneur navigating a struggling business, or a teacher finding new ways to inspire students, all of them face trials that could discourage them. But love for their craft keeps them going. It allows them to see hardship as part of the process rather than as a sign to stop. Without that love, excellence is impossible. Moreover, when you love your work, you find joy in the smallest victories, a solved problem, a lesson learned, or even just the fact that you did not give up. These moments become meaningful. They add energy to your journey. And this joy doesn't just stay within you, it spreads to others. People are inspired when they see someone smiling through difficulty, pushing forward with determination, and carrying a positive spirit even in the face of challenges. That kind of energy motivates teams, lifts communities, and builds trust. It is important to remember that life's greatest rewards are often hidden behind the toughest barriers. If everything were easy, true success is not just about what the world sees, but about what you feel deep inside. Many people chase after money, fame, and recognition, believing these things will bring them happiness. But time and again, we see stories of individuals who achieve wealth and status, only to find themselves restless, empty, or even miserable. The reason is simple. External success without internal fulfillment is incomplete. When you truly love your work, you experience a kind of success that is richer, deeper, and more lasting than anything money or titles can ever provide. Fulfillment is the feeling of waking up each morning with a sense of purpose. It is the quiet satisfaction of knowing that the hours you spend each day are building something meaningful. A person who loves their work does not live only for the weekends or for retirement. They live for the present moment because the present itself is rewarding. They find joy not only in reaching milestones, but also in the journey toward them. This joy transforms work from a duty into a privilege. Think about the difference between working for a paycheck and working for passion. The first may bring temporary comfort, but it often leaves a person longing for more. The second brings energy, creativity, and resilience because the reward is not just external, it is internal. When you are fueled by passion, your motivation doesn't run out when the paycheck arrives. Instead, you keep striving, learning, and improving because the work itself feeds your spirit. Fulfillment also protects you from burnout. Many people exhaust themselves chasing goals that do not align with their hearts, and even when they achieve them, the emptiness remains. But when you love your work, effort feels lighter. Long hours become bearable because they are driven by meaning. Challenges no longer drain your energy because they are tied to something you value. In fact, loving your work can make even the most difficult days feel worthwhile because you know you are building something greater than yourself. It is also important to recognize that fulfillment is contagious. When you genuinely enjoy your work, others feel it. Your enthusiasm inspires your colleagues, your dedication uplifts your team, and your joy creates a positive environment wherever you go. People naturally gravitate toward those who radiate purpose and passion. In this way, loving your work doesn't just fulfill you, it empowers those around you. You become a source of encouragement, a living reminder that success is not only about achieving, but about enjoying the process along the way. Consider the legacy of those who live passionately. They are remembered not merely for what they accomplished, but for how they poured themselves into their craft. Their work carries a sense of soul because it was born from love. That is the kind of success that lasts, the kind that outlives titles and surpasses wealth. At the end of life, no one measures their worth in trophies or salaries. They measure it in moments of meaning, joy, and impact. Loving your work ensures that those moments are abundant. So, ladies and gentlemen, do not settle for a life of hollow achievements. Seek fulfillment by aligning your work with your passion. Let love guide your effort, let joy be your compass, and let purpose be your reward. Because in the end, true success is not about what you own, but about what you feel. And when you love your work, you will discover that the greatest victory of all is the fulfillment that stays with you long after the applause has faded. We have reflected on 3 timeless truths: that passion creates excellence, that love transforms challenges into opportunities, and that fulfillment is the truest form of success. Together, they remind us that work is not just about earning a living, it is about building a life filled with meaning, joy, and growth. When you love your work, your journey is no longer defined by obstacles, but by the strength you gain from them. Your achievements are not limited to titles or rewards, but measured by the impact you leave on others and the satisfaction you carry within yourself. So I encourage you, do not simply work to survive, work to thrive. Do not chase only success, but seek fulfillment. Find that spark of passion, nurture it, and let it guide you through every challenge. Because when you truly love your work, you will not only build a successful career, but you will also create a life worth remembering. Thank you.